Australia's east coast may face another summer of heavy rains and devastating floods, with the US Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration saying the chance of a third consecutive La Niña event has increased. La Niña occurs when multiple global weather systems interact, including trade winds pushing warm waters across the Pacific Ocean towards Australia. And that leads to heavy rainfall near Australia's north and east. But these interacting systems have a ripple effect in other parts of the globe. Warm waters of Australia tend to lead to cooler waters on the other side of the Indian Ocean, causing drought on the African continent. More than 18 million people are experiencing extreme hunger in Ethiopia, Somalia and Kenya, with the region seeing lower than average rainfall for 4 consecutive years. Well, here's Professor Matthew England, a climate scientist with UNSW.
I heard the statistics are going up towards 60, 70%, maybe more. So it's looking pretty likely. And as we know, that can bring really heavy rains to the eastern half of Australia. So
3 in a row. When was the last time that happened?
Yeah, there's been a couple of instances in the last 50 years. For the last 7 years, back to 1950, it's happened twice. What we're concerned about, though, is the impact of these events. So having 3 in a row may be not bad if the rainfall that comes, refills dams and gives farmers relief from dry conditions. But what seems to be happening in the last decade or so is that the intensity of these La Niña events, so that's to say the flooding rains that come, there seems to be an increase in their intensity and in their impact.
So the rains would be in the same quantities as we've seen twice before, you're saying, and in the same place?
We'd expect them to be higher than average. Whether they match the devastating floods of this year or last year is yet to be seen. We just know that the probability of those sorts of extreme events really skews up to be much higher. The chance of it being a bushfire risk season diminish, actually almost go away altogether sometimes in La Niña events, because you have much cloudier conditions, cooler temperatures, heavier rains. But as we've seen for the last couple of years, you can get devastating floods as a result. And, the soil over some of these areas is not even dried out from the rains of the last couple of years. So it's really primed for more flooding. And that's a concern. These triple events can be very impactful because you're not seeing this drying out of the soil and then more rains hit.
So, Matthew, what are the conditions that are causing these consecutive La Niñas?
Yeah, and so the oceans north of Australia are very warm at the moment. They're warmer than average. That brings a lot of moisture into the atmosphere. So warm oceans evaporate more than colder oceans. And so the real problem for Australia in terms of these heavy rains is this massive area of ocean to the north of Australia, all around Papua New Guinea, all around Indonesia. That water is warmer than average, and that extra warmth in the ocean evaporates more moisture into the atmosphere. And then the rain systems we get, especially over Queensland, northern New South Wales, become much heavier in their rain quantities.